Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Professor S.P. Singh from Faculty of Management Studies, Gurukul Kangdi University, Haridwar. Today we are going to study Module 30 on Employee Remuneration. Friends, after studying this module, you shall be able to know the concept of wages, understand the methods of employee remuneration, comprehend the components of wages and salaries, become aware of the factors affecting wages and salaries, know the challenges affecting remuneration. Employee remuneration involves the reward or compensation employees receive for their work performances. Remuneration provides basic attention to an employee to perform job in efficient and effective manner. Remuneration motivates the employees. Salaries comprise a vital source of income for employees and determine their standard of living. Salaries influence the employee's productivity and performance of work. So the amount of remuneration and method of payment are very important for both employees and employers. While developing wage policy, there are three notions of wages, namely minimum wages, fair wages, and living wages. Minimum wage is which provides not merely for bare sustenance of life, but also for the maintenance of the worker's efficiency. For this objective, the minimum wage must provide for some measure of cost of education, medical requirements, and amenities. Fair wage is understood in two ways. From a narrow perspective, wage is fair if it is equal to the rate prevailing in the same trade and in the neighborhood for similar work. From the wide perspective, it will be fair if it is similar to the prevailing rate for identical work in the country and for trades in general. Living wage is a step higher than minimum wage. Living wage may be described as one which should enable the wage earner to provide for himself or herself and her family not merely the bare necessities of life like food, cloth and shelter, but an amount of frugal effort including education for children, protection against ill health, requirements of essential social needs, and or measures of insurance including old age. The major objective of wage and salary administration is to determine and maintain an equitable wage and salary system. This is so because a suitable designed compensation system equips an employer to attract, acquire, retain and motivate people of caliber and qualifications needed for the organization. These objectives can be seen in more orderly manner from the point of view of the organization, its individual employees and collectively. The compensation system should be duly aligned with the organizational needs and should also be flexible to incorporate modifications in response to change. From individual employees' point of view, the compensation system should have the following objectives: confirm a fair compensation. Compensation should be according to employees' worth, enhances employee morale and motivation. Collective objectives include compensation ahead of inflation increase in compensation, reflecting increase in the prosperity of the company. Matching the company wage rates with market rates. Increase in compensation reflects a rise in the prosperity of the company. An employee in the organized sector receives several benefits. The typical remuneration of an employee comprises wage and salary, incentives, fringe benefits, perquisites, and non-monetary benefits. Wages represent hourly rates of pay and salary refers to the monthly rate of pay. Annual increments are added to wages and salaries. They differ from employee to employee and depend upon the nature of job, seniority and merit. Incentives are also called payments by results. The productivity, sales, profit or cost reduction efforts determine the incentives. These are individual incentive schemes, group incentives programs. Individual incentives apply to specific employee performance. If the assigned task requires group effort, the group as a whole gets incentives divided among members of the group equitably. Fringe benefits include provident fund, gratuity, medical assistance, hospital expenses, accident coverage, health and group insurance, uniform, recreation, and the like. Executives are allowed benefits like use of company car, membership of a reputed club, paid holidays, furnished accommodation, ESOPs, and the like. Perquisites are offered to retain competent executives. These include challenging job responsibilities, recognition of merit, growth, prospects, and competent supervision, comfortable working conditions, job sharing, and flex time incentives scheme. A number of factors influence the remuneration payable to employees. They can be categorized into external and internal factors. External factors to an organization are labor market, cost of living, labor unions, government legislations, the society, and the economy. The wage and salary fixation is determined by the demand for and supply of labor. When the supply of labor exceeds the demand for it, a low wage may be determined. A higher wage will have to be paid when the demand exceeds supply. For example, the demand for the skilled labor is greater than its supply. A contraction is present in India where excessive unemployment is being encountered with shortage of labor. Going rate of pay also influences employee remuneration. The cost of living criterion matters during rising prices. The justification for cost of living as a criterion for wage fixation is that the real wages of workers get reduced as the prices increase. However, the payment of dearness allowance compensates the increase in the cost of living and the basic pay remains undisturbed. The presence or absence of labor organizations often determine the quantum of wages paid to IT employees. Employers in non-unionized factories enjoy the autonomy to determine wages and salaries. The large-scale unemployment encourages the employers to hire workers at little or even less than legal minimum wages. The employees of strongly unionized companies cannot determine wages and salaries on their own. They yield to the pressure of labor unions in determining and revising pay scales. The prices fixed by an organization, fixed for its goods and services, reflect the remuneration paid to employees. Therefore, the consuming public is interested in remuneration issues. The state of the economy also has its impact on the wages and salary. While it is possible for some organizations to grow in a recession, the general economic conditions affect remuneration decisions. Labor unions, the government and the society are all less likely to pressurize for pay increases in a depressed economy. People responsible for administering wages and salary encounter challenges requiring adjustments to a remuneration plan. Skill-based pay, salary reviews, pay secrecy, comparable worth, and international pay are more important challenges. Friends, in this module, you have studied the concept of wages, methods of employee remuneration, components of wages and salaries, the factors affecting wages and salaries, and the challenges affecting remuneration. Thanks for visiting EPG Pathshala.